All right, well, welcome back. Let's do some more 8th grade algebra, shall we? So you should be really proud of how far you've come and how much you've really grown and how much algebra you can now do. It's pretty impressive. So back when we were learning about 7th grade algebra, we learned to solve equations like this. We called them 3-step equations, equations with a distributive property. So how would we have done this? You can look back in your notes, but I know you won't. So we talked about how you could bump it first and multiply and get 6x minus 8 equals 10 and solve it from there. The other option I gave you was to go like this, and instead of bumping it, you could divide each side by 2. And then that would cancel that out, and you would get 3x minus 4 equals 5. And then you could solve that. So now to make it 8th grade, we're going to take it to the next level by putting a variable on the other side. Okay, go ahead and pause, add this to your table of contents. Don't forget a page number and make a new entry. So we're going to look at how we can use the distributive property to solve equations. All right, so watch me. So that second technique of like dividing by the outside factor isn't going to work as well here. Because if I divide everything by 3, yeah, that gets rid of the 3 there, but then that makes 1/3 and 2/3 and a third x, and that's not what I want to do. So instead, I'm just going to go ahead and bump it. I'm only going to bump it to those 2 terms because that's not on the inside of the parentheses. And then I'm going to write it, 3x minus 15 plus 1 equals 2 plus x, and then I would look for anything I can combine. So I can see that I can combine these 2 constants and get negative 14. So I'd have 3x minus 14 equals 2 plus x, and then I'd do what we've been talking about in 8th grade land. I'd move my smallest pile of x's, and then that will cancel out, and that would give me 2x minus 14 equals 2. I'm going to stop there because you know how to solve a 2-step equation at this point. Okay, so here's another example. I'm looking for my part with distributive property. Again, I'm not going to want to divide by negative 4 because then I get negative 3/4 there and negative 5/4 there and negative 7/4 k, and that's just an ugly old mess. So I'm just going to go ahead and bump it like that. And that part becomes negative 4k minus 4 minus 3. I'm going to bring down this other business here. And then I'm going to look for things I can combine. Like I can combine my 2 constants here. Whoa, sorry, I didn't combine that very well. And then that gives me negative 7. Then I can bring down the rest of this business. And then I'm looking to get all my k's on one side. And again, smallest pile of k's, this is actually the smallest pile of k's. So then I would add 7k to both sides. And then I'd add that all up and I'd get 5 equals 3k minus 7. And again, I'm not going to solve that. You know how to solve a 2-step equation. All right, so what did I do there? So go ahead and pause and copy down these steps. So basically what I did is I used the distributive property and I bumped it. I made sure to multiply by all the terms in the parentheses. Okay, not by every single term in the whole world, just the ones in the parentheses, but make sure to get both, not just the one with the x. I'm going to look for any simplification I can do in the way of combining like terms, and then I'm going to use inverse operations to solve. All right, go ahead and copy down this example. Write it twice because we're going to mess it all up. All right, so step 1 is I'm going to use the distributive property. So go ahead and bump this out here. Okay, and then I'm going to go negative 9 times y is negative 9y. Negative 9 times 2 is negative 18. I'm not going to make you box and circle anymore. I think you've trained your brain enough by now. Okay, I mean on that, and I'm not going to make you write out everything that's being multiplied. I think you get it. Step 2 is I'm going to combine terms as needed. So I'm going to look for places I can combine terms. Here I am going to circle just so that way I can show what I'm combining. So go ahead and circle those 2, bring it down, different signs subtract, negative wins. Bring down this guy here. and then bring down the rest of the problem. All right, and then step 3, use inverse operations to solve. So I'm just going to carry on. My smallest pile of 9s is actually this, so I'm going to add 9y to both sides. That cancels. I get 10y minus 5 equals negative 15. And then, because it's my example, I'm going to keep going. So I'm going to add 5 to both sides. Draw the line. Then I get 10y equals negative 10. And then last, I'm going to divide by 10 on both sides. And I'm going to get y equals negative 1. All right, let's do one more example like that. And again, go ahead and write it twice so we can ugly it up. All right, step 1, I'm going to use distributive property and multiply by everything in the parentheses. So go ahead and bump this part right here to show this is what we're multiplying. When we multiply, we get 2x minus 14, and then I'm going to bring down the rest of the problem. Okay, step 2, I'm going to combine terms as I can. So I look here, and I got a couple constants I can put together. That makes negative 24. So again, circle to show that's what we're combining. Then I get 2x minus 24 equals 12 minus 4x. All right, and then I'm just going to keep cruising. Move my smallest pile of x's. So I'm going to add 4x to both sides. Cross that out, so I get 6x minus 24 equals 12. And then I'm going to clear my constants. So I'm going to add 24 to both sides. Cancels out, and I get 6x equals 36. And then I'm going to get rid of the coefficient by dividing. And I'm going to get x equals 6. Hooray for algebra! All right, let's go ahead and grab a scratch paper. Try this one problem. And that's it for this video, guys. When you come in tomorrow, have that one problem done, have those first 2 example problems done, and we're going to ratchet up the difficulty level just a little bit for you, and we'll continue on with notes in class. All right, get a good night's sleep, and I'll see you tomorrow.